Secretary Austin, pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks, Fareed. It's a real pleasure to be with you.
I was in Ukraine a couple of weeks ago and talked to a number of people there, including your counterpart. One of the things that they do say is that they would dearly wish for more American weaponry, but particularly longer-range weapons. The Biden administration has been hesitant to do that because of the fear of these weapons essentially reaching into Russia, seeming to be an attack on Russia. Now, my question to you is, Russia has just changed the game. They have annexed the entire Donbass, all those 4 regions. So in effect, any missile that hits Russian positions in the Donbass is already an attack on Russia. In this new circumstance, why not lean forward, give the Ukrainians the longer-range weaponry they were asking for? By Russian law, you're hitting Russia anyway when these missiles are hitting the Donbass.
Well, two things here, Fareed. As you've heard us say, this referendum is a sham. It's fiction. And we will never respect their illegal annexation of Ukraine territory. And nor will most of the international community. So that's one thing. Now, the second thing is, I talked to my counterpart, the Minister of Defense there in Ukraine, Minister Reznikov, routinely. As a matter of fact, I just talked to him last night. We talk about how the fight's going, what's needed, and what's upcoming. And we've been very effective in providing them those things that are very, very effective on a battlefield, and they have used them in the right way. So they have the capability with the HIMARS and the GIMLRs, which is around that the HIMARS employs. They can range targets in almost every piece of Ukraine territory.
Now, part of the annexation, Russia's annexation, is the statement by President Putin that he has now made twice, that these territories are now Russian, and that he will defend these Russian territories with every means possible. And Russian media has repeatedly interpreted that to mean, very specifically, nuclear weapons, as has Dmitry Medvedev. So this seems to raise the stakes enormously. What do you make of the fact that Vladimir Putin is essentially saying at this point that if he feels there is an attack from NATO, I suppose, on Russian territory, which now includes all of the Donbass, he reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in response?
Again, it's an illegal claim. It's an irresponsible statement. These are, this nuclear saber rattling is not the kind of thing that we would expect to hear from leaders of large countries with capability. And so, what we can expect to see, we can expect that the Ukrainians will continue to move forward and attempt to take back all of the territory within their sovereign borders here. And so I don't think that's going to stop, and we will continue to support them in their efforts.
What have you conveyed to the Russians privately just how dangerous these threats are, or what kind of retaliation they might expect from the West were there to be a use, say, of tactical nuclear weapons?
Well, you've heard people in our leadership, among our leadership, that have said that we have communicated to them recently. Personally, I've not talked to Shoigu in recent days, but I have talked to him in the past, and I have addressed this very issue and warned to not go down this path and conduct this type of irresponsible behavior. So, yes, I have done that in the past personally, but I've not talked to him recently.
Did you get the sense he got it? You felt like he heard your message?
I do think he heard my message, but to be clear, the guy who makes that decision, I mean, it's one man. There are no checks on Mr. Putin. Just as he made the irresponsible decision to to invade Ukraine, he could make another decision. But I don't see anything right now that would lead me to believe that he has made such a decision. So.
Mr. Secretary, what is your analysis of how well Ukraine has done? We've all seen and been stunned by this recapture of territory, the Russians fleeing. But what I want to ask you is a question that everyone has, is that, they've been able to do a lot. They'll probably be able to push forward some more. But is it likely that in the next few months the Ukrainians will be able to really rout the Russian position in the Donbass? Or are we likely to get to some kind of stalemate where Ukraine takes back some territory, but Russia defends a lot of it, and they're kind of stuck in a stalemate?
It's hard to predict what exactly is going to happen. I think the Ukrainians have amazed the world in terms of their ability to fight back, their ability to exercise initiative, their commitment to the defense of their democracy, and that willingness to fight has rallied the international community in an effort to help provide them the security assistance so that they can continue to fight. They did a magnificent job early on. They won the Battle of Kyiv. We saw a bit of a slowdown, a stalemate, as a battle transitioned to the Donbass, and it was defined by long-range fires. But then, as the Ukrainians began to receive the technology like HIMARS and employed that technology the right way, and began to conduct attacks on things like logistical stores and command and control, that's taken away significant capability from the Russians. That's also changed the dynamics, and it's created an opportunity for the Ukrainians to maneuver. So what we're seeing now is kind of a change in the battlefield dynamics. They've done very, very well in the Kharkiv area and moved to take advantage of opportunities. The fight in the Kherson region is going a bit slower, but they're making progress. So they're getting the right things, and they're employing them the right way. So it's not just about the equipment that you have, Fareed. It's about how you employ that equipment, how you synchronize things together to create battlefield effects that then can create opportunities. They've done very, very well. In terms of what will happen going forward, hard to predict, but I would say that whatever direction that this goes in, we will continue to provide security assistance to the Ukrainians for as long as it takes. We're all very hopeful that they'll continue to make progress at the rate that they have. But again, I fought in enough wars and enough battles to know that no one can really predict a particular outcome of any battle. You just have to focus on doing the right things at the right time. And so we will continue to support the Ukrainians, as you've heard our president say, for as long as it takes.